Travis, hello. Sorry about the mask. I am currently at the studio. I don't have access to a bass normally, so this is where I come to do my thing sometimes. So, today we are just going to be really briefly going over a piece of my heart, the kind of basics. I'm going to give you the intro, and then everything after that is not super crazy. And this is going to be a one take because I don't have access to the space for super long. So, apologies if there's any kind of gaps or I have to repeat a section or if I say a weird thing, just go with it. So, nothing crazy, all right? This song is not super duper complicated. It seems that way, but it's really just a basic skeleton with some kind of fancier stuff thrown over top, okay? So we're kind of gonna go over both. So the intro is gonna start on your 9th fret E string. This is C sharp. F sharp, 9th fret, A string. See? Already making mistakes because I'm tired, but it is okay. So 9th fret, A string. That is F sharp. And this is kind of the basic groove we got going on. Right? Ba, 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 ba. Right? So we're going to take it from the 9th fret A string to 5th fret E string up to 7th fret E string. So. Right? So, 9th fret gets a full bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. These two get 2 beats each, so half a bar each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go up to the 9th fret E string, and this is where the craziness happens. So I'm going to give you just the basic skeleton first. This is like the kind of breakdown that leads into the verse, right? So that's your 9th fret E string, down to your 7th fret E string, 5th fret A string, up to the 7th fret E string. So if I play all those together, the basic skeleton, ready? Right? Nothing crazy. So, if I play from the beginning of the intro all the way to that part. That'll take you from the beginning to the end of the intro, and then we're going to move on to the verse. And the verse and the chorus are a lot more simple than that intro, right? Again, it's a skeleton with just some kind of fancy ornamentation on top. Here is the crazy bit of the intro, right? So it's all kind of based off your minor pentatonic, this first section. Yes, bass players can learn scales too, right? Wow. So, this is a little bit fast, right? But, right? And what you can do is, when you have a really fast section like this, you can do it a couple different ways, right? There's two kind of primary ways. You can go fast and do what we call chunking, which is basically if you have this much, you can do, okay, I can do it at full speed, but only maybe half of that. Right, and so on and so forth. So that way you kind of get the feel of the rhythm. The more common way is to just slow the whole thing down, right? Right, so experiment and try both, right? Going the faster way is good to kind of practice the technique you need to get. The slower way is great for note retention, right? Fancy way of saying remembering the notes, right? But again, it's based off a scale, so remembering the notes isn't super hard, as long as you know the scale. Again, here's the scale. This is your minor pentatonic on bass. So here's that first bit. then that's one section, right? Here's the second section. We go down to B, 7th fret E string. And you're gonna wanna do this with your middle finger because you need your first finger to be able to go back. Ba, 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 ba. Right, it's kind of weird. So, and I played it a whole bunch because it's kind of a weird time to learn when to hit your first finger. It's not the same as this one, right? There's less notes in this thing versus this. Right? It's less amount of notes overall, so you have to start it a little bit later to compensate. So middle finger on E7. First finger on the A string 6th fret, and you're gonna go 1, 2, 4. First finger, second finger, fourth finger, right? And then your middle finger is gonna hit the 7th fret D, D. And then after that, you just go back until you hit your first finger on the A string again. And then we slide down to 5. Right, so first part. Right, I don't know if you caught that or not, but I accidentally hit 7 with my first finger and I had to quickly shift over to my middle finger because otherwise I would have been screwed for that next lick, right? So just keep that in mind. However you have to do it, make sure that by the time you are about to start the next run on B, that your first finger is ready to go, because that lick is really hard if you have to kind of shift like this. Right, it can be done, but it's easier if you already have your middle finger on B. So, one more time. We slide down to D. 1, 2. We're gonna hit our third finger on the 7th fret A string, and we're gonna slide up to the 9th. Then we're gonna bar the D and G string with our first finger. We're gonna hit those. And then we come back up to D. I'm doing to make this note stand out. Bass does not really do well with held out notes, right? It's especially muddy, and this bass is a little jacked up on the action, so it's even harder to tell. But when I do this, I kind of bar, but when I hit the G string, I lift up my fingertip so that way D doesn't ring out. So it sounds super clear and crisp. Connected, but not held out. Right? That sounds nice on its own, but when you play it in the band, you won't be able to be heard because you're so muddy, right? So you gotta make that note pop out and let go of the D. Right? Fingertip is off, you can see that. Right? And when I'm done here, I just either use my first or my middle finger. You can probably use your middle finger, honestly. You can do this and then reach up. And then you go back to B. And then just first finger hits A. Right, that's when Alyssa will be singing, come on, come on, come on. And then you're into the verse. So, really quick, here's this whole section, super slow from top to bottom. Oh, sorry. And again, if you are having trouble playing all the fancy licks, just get the root notes, right? And you can add those kind of connector notes because they sound nice, right? Bass usually does a little bit better when you have a little bit of movement, right? It makes it a little more groovy, a little more catchy. At the very least, get the roots. If you can, kind of add that connector tissue, right? It really does lend itself to an anatomy comparison very well, right? You have a skeleton, then you can kind of throw the muscle and stuff on there, and then you can throw all the skin and the cool clothing and stuff, right? That's kind of your 3 levels for right now. Skeleton. Muscles. Full body. The verse, super easy. Just E to A, 5th fret, up to B. And that's it. And then you go to the pre-chorus, which is based on what we did just a second ago. C sharp with no fancy licks down to B, D, down to back up to B. All this is, I just went up from B down here to B up here. That is your 9th fret D string. It's just a kind of a cool little accent that you can do. The chorus, again, pretty straightforward, right? The intro is the hardest part, so everything else is relatively straightforward. Here's the chorus. E. Right, very similar to the verse. Here's where it changes, right? We do this walk down. B, B flat, A, 7, 6, 5, 7, 6, 5. Right, this is where she sings, you know you got it, right? And then with our pinkies, actually, I'm going to show you a different way. I'm going to have you put your pinky up here on the 12th fret A string. We're going to do 4, 3, 1, and we're going to slide down to 7th fret A. And then we're back to the verse. And that is all the stuff in this song. Everything after this is just recombinations of everything that we've already done, right? So hopefully, this was a little bit fast, I know, but I hope that it's helpful. And you can cycle back and you can listen and reference with the song, right? It's not exactly what the song does, but it is pretty darn close. And that's the most important thing. If you nail this, that's all I care about, right? This is hard enough. So, good luck, sir. Thank you for your patience with me as I got this out to you. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. You will have my contact information now once you get this video. So, I am more than happy to help out if there's any other clarifications that you might need, okay? All right, man, take it easy. I'll see you at the next practice.